Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FGME Cast for your Wednesday night. Wednesday night is the Thunder Series. That's right, we're back with ANZCAR and the Xfinity cars. It's got a short track tonight, and I'm joined, as usual, by my partner in crime, Carl, with the good evening, Carl.
Good evening, Stuart. Good evening, everybody out there. It is a pleasure to be back here in the booth with you, Stuart, as ever. And we are here at the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway.
The last great Coliseum, okay. Do tell.
Well, that's one of its names. It's one of its names. The last great Coliseum, because when you look at this place from the blimp view, it is a Coliseum. It is a pure Coliseum. There is seating all the way round, and they are watching these gladiators dice it out lap after lap, fighting for positions at this fantastic high-banked oval.
Well, we are now switched out to blimp view just to check that out, and I can see exactly what you're talking about. Hadn't realised that. Of course, Carl, your knowledge of history continues to astound me broadcast after broadcast. But that's a good one. So we add that into the mix, but we've got 5 minutes to go in practice here. We're on a little bit earlier. Don't check your clocks. They are still correct. There is a huge update coming through on iRacing tonight at 9 p.m. So we had to make sure we were off in time for that, and that meant starting things a little bit earlier tonight.
Yeah, just a smidge early tonight, so that's thrown us out slightly as well. Got all our preparations thrown out. But luckily, I have made it home in time from work to get here for the start of the race, which is even better.
Just means being tucked into bed that little bit earlier tonight, Carl. And before we do get into qualifying, do you want to give us a rundown of the points, please?
I could do that, absolutely. It would probably help if I actually had that up on my screen, which I will have in a moment, of course. I said it throws us off, not completely prepared tonight, obviously. But for once, I'm not calling a race in a three-piece suit, so that is something a little bit more comfortable to call a race in for once, so that is nice. So championship standings are as follow. Maddie Ray is still in the lead of the championship with 126 points. 9 points down in second is Josh Mickelmore, followed by his teammate Hamish Gallagher, 17 points off the lead. 20 points off the lead is JCW Joshua Carroll-Walden in fourth. Fifth, we have Brenton West, 21 off the lead. Great season start for Brenton West again. We saw him have a good season last season in Thunder. Will he be able to carry it through? Will he be able to get another top 10 finish and maybe another top 5? Norman Clark in sixth, 29 off the lead. Scotty Griffiths, 30 off the lead in seventh. Joint place with Stevie Dubb, Stephen Williams, winner of the Truck Season 1 Championship. Then we have Christopher Finlay, 37 points off the lead, and in 10th place is Matty Hunter, 38 off the lead. So it is pretty close up there. There is barely anything separating the championship standings as it is, but consistency is key.
Just to confuse us a little bit more, Carl, I thought we were on board with JCW Joshua Carroll-Walden in the 35. Only to realise we're actually on board with the 035 Daniel Heddersheed, who's jumped in the AJ Insurance sponsored 035 tonight for the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, I think getting a little bit of practice in. I don't think Heddersheed's probably run too much here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So probably coming in to get a little bit of practice under the belt for tomorrow night's Cup race, because remember, the Thunder Series is the development series. It is the junior development series, we call it, but it is also running the same tracks as the Cup Series. So it's a great place to come and practice if you've not run this race too many times, because it gives you vital experience. And this place is all about experience, because it is such a tricky place. You have two separate pit lanes. You have very high banking. The angle of banking is ridiculous here, as you can see as we're looking at it. I think it's something like, I'm trying to remember now, about 29, 30 degrees of banking. So 30 degrees of banking up the top, so it is extremely steep. Very similar to the new corner at Zandvoort, of course, but much more sustained speed. So it's a much longer corner, and you're pretty much going to be flying your way around here. Pretty low grip surface as well. It's pretty much concrete all the way around. So that does affect it a little bit. But being so, it doesn't tend to chew tyres up too badly.
Right, okay, yeah, so we were talking in the pre-show about the potential here for a no-stop race. Running start to finish. We might see some people gamble that, particularly if we do get cautions.
Yeah, track position is going to be key here tonight. It's important. You don't get a huge drop-off on tyre wear here. It doesn't tend to be that noticeable. Obviously, fresh tyres are always better. Everybody likes fresh tyres. But the cars, they don't lose too much time on tyres on long runs. So you might see a few people gambling it out there and trying to stick it out there. If their fuel numbers say they can make it to the end, they might gamble and stick it out there and try for a win. I believe we saw Luke Trahair do that a couple of seasons ago at this very track.
Okay, well, we'll have to keep an eye out for that one. A good solid grid here again tonight. 25 cars loaded in and ready to get underway. We've got just over a minute before we head into qualifying, and yeah, we've got what a scenic view that is. A fantastic looking racetrack at night, and looking forward to get this one underway. Of course, as you mentioned, we are back here tomorrow night from 7:45 for the Cup. We have got the chase. We're into the third round, and that one is going to be exciting. We've got another driver interview that will be coming up at the start of that as well, to lead us between qualifying and the main server. Who have we got on the stream tomorrow night, Carl?
Daniel Greskowitz. So Danny G will be joining us hopefully with that one, and should hopefully go smoothly. We'll be recording that one tonight. All things go to plan, and get that ready for you for tomorrow night before the Cup race.
Looking forward to that, of course. Mitch Motorsport man, so there's going to be plenty of Mitch on that coverage because all four of the team made it into the chase. So it's going to be a Mitch Motorsport extravaganza, but looking forward to hearing a little bit more about Danny G after that one tonight.
Yeah, the Mitch Motorsport quartet getting into the chase, of course, all four of their cars and drivers in the chase. A fantastic feat. I mean, that is something else. And of course, three of their cars taking the top three steps of the last race, of course, DPR doing it in the first race. Those teams have got some great talent behind them, and locking out the top of the grid is a fantastic feat to do.
All right, well, let's get into qualifying. Who is going to be our victim tonight? Looks like it actually is going to be Brenton West, who we're going to jump on board with for qualifying here. So if you haven't joined us before, 2 laps flying around this place, and it'll be Brenton West who takes us on the demo laps around here.
Yeah, Brenton West in the West liveried car. I think he's actually going to have to restart that one because he's going to get a black flag because he exited pit lane wrong. So he's going to jump back in and restart that one because he just made it out a little bit too soon. So you've got to be careful on pit exit here because there are 2 pit lanes. You can get a little bit confused. So what you need to aim for is this second set of cones here, this blue line. That's the control line for the exit. So that's a crucially important thing to do, and it's a mistake that drivers could make in the race, and if they do, they're going to have a penalty for that. So coming round for the first lap, big speed coming into turn number 1, 215 kilometers per hour, taking the high line, getting around there nicely, Brenton West. It's a little bit tighter for the first 2 corners, a little bit more open for the second set of corners. You can carry a bit more speed through here, around about 190 kilometers per hour during the mid-section of the corner. Get close to the wall. Nice lap from Brenton West there. That's him up to P4. Second lap might be a little bit faster. Sometimes you can get a little bit of tyre temperature issue, but usually the second lap will be a tad quicker. We'll see how this one goes. West getting nice and settled in the mid-corner there. Gets across the line. Really nice job there. Doesn't quite make it a position. Doesn't quite make it any faster on that second lap, but a really good, strong first lap from Brenton West there.
I'll be pleased with that one. Of course, we've still got a few to go. It's going to be a relatively quick qualifying session here tonight with such a short lap, but we do have a 5-minute session. So have a look at Dave Douglas here. Still just trying to crack it for the big W.
Yeah, Matty Ray just having a bad one. Sorry, he's just gone into the wall, and the rare sight of a crinkled car for Matty Raymond. That's something we don't often see. But Dave Douglas is going to be trying to get a good one. He's got up to P8 on that first lap. So will he be able to get any better on the second one? Let's hope he can. He's going to be trying a little bit of a different line. You can see him dropping down, and he actually aborts that lap. So he decides he's not going any faster. So he did try the alternate line, just trying to drop down on the asphalt that runs along the bottom of the track. Just trying to get a little bit more grip, but it didn't work out for him there. We've got Mitchell West out there as well, Brenton West's brother, I believe, in the more conventional looking sort of watermelon colours of the car. They remind me of watermelons with their stripes. Mitchell West, new to the series, setting a good time up in 21st position of pretty much a 16-second flat. Fastest time is Lachlan Urquhart with a 15.3.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that. Lockie's been back in the pack a little bit of late, so be happy to get a good qualifying performance in and start this one from the front of the field, which is where he's going to find himself with only Christopher Finlay potentially able to take him out, but looks like he has decided not to qualify or may not be in the server. So it's going to be full. Matty Ray, I was going to say, Carl, unless we see it on the stream, does it really happen? He hasn't crinkled his car. Come on, those sorts of things don't happen.
If Matty Ray damages his car and nobody sees it, does it really get damaged? That's the question. And, yeah.
If nobody hears the tree fall in the forest, does the tree actually fall? So
well, originally it was the Matty Ray question. I mean, the ancient Chinese philosophers knew so much about Matty Raymond that they wrote that, and they had to convert it to trees so people could actually understand it more.
Could hear what was going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we've got a couple of minutes left here just before the session changes over. So we'll no doubt continue to fill your ears with
like some form of garbage,
sublime and the ridiculous. But that's just how we roll here on FGME Cast on a Wednesday night. It's a little bit more casual. We get to enjoy ourselves a little bit more with the Xfinity series. And if you are looking to join ANZCAR, and we've had a couple of new drivers make some applications through the Discord and what have you, you can jump onto the Discord. There are some instructions in there about how to apply for the league, and always accepting applications for drivers and the trucks or the Xfinity series. A great place for you to start if you're looking to get some good clean racing and learn the skill and the craft that goes into oval track racing. The guys here always willing to help someone willing to learn as well. That is until you get too quick, in which case then they'll cast you off into the shadows and let you battle away for yourself. But it is a great place to join and learn if you're interested in getting into more oval track racing. And it was commented that it's very clean, probably one of the cleanest leagues getting around in terms of driver skill and quality. So it's a good place to learn if you are doing that. And a number of the drivers, including, say, Daniel Hedersheed, who has made a step up into the Cup. He actually won in the Cup race on debut a few weeks ago. So it is possible just to make that step up after a little bit of time and get yourself up into the main game here for ANZCAR. So let's have a quick look at the grid. Did I miss anything there, Carl? Have I stuffed anything up? I don't think so.
That was absolutely perfect. Well done.
So we'll just run through the grid here. Lachlan Urquio on pole position. Fantastic run from him. And Daniel Hedersheed in second place. And it is his teammate Edward Foster off third with Steve Williams off fourth. And it's Brenton West and Ryan Jones off the third row with Josh Mickelmore and Hamish Gallagher off row 4. Dave Douglas and Matty Hunter off row 5 with Joshua Carroll-Walden and Luke Georgeson off row 6. And as we flip over the page here, it is Ruben Phelps and Aidan Schultz, teammates, lining up next to one another off row 7 with Peter Wilkinson, Kate Donnelly off row 8. We've got Gary Wellman and Thomas Martin off row 9 with Scott Griffiths and Norm Clark off 10. Mitchell West, Tristan Cock off 11. Andrew Dyson, if you don't mind, back in 23rd, and Christopher Finlay in 24th position with Matty Ray rounding out this field, having had to abort that qualifying effort at the death there as well. So there it is. That's the lie of the land. It's going to be a really, really quick warm-up lap here. They don't do 2 here, Carl, do they? Because the lap's so short.
It's a 2-lap warm-up, I'm pretty sure, from memory.
Yep. So
we'll soon find out, though. So if the pace car pulls in right away, we'll find out very quickly. But usually it's an extra little bit of a lap here just to get things settled down, and indeed it is. Don't be surprised about Daiso being off the pace. He wasn't really trying. He was, I think he was doing a bit more of a drift action than a speed action for his qualifying lap, just getting an idea. I think he wants to work his way through the field tonight, so he's trying to do the Matty Ray trick of starting at the back and working his way up to the top. But it's going to be Lachlan Urquio taking us away in the lead with Hedersheed beside him in the 0.35. This should be a pretty juicy race here tonight at the 7th biggest stadium in the world, of course, Bristol Motor Speedway, with about 165,000 seat capacity.
Thanks for the subscribe there, Red Irish. And if you are watching and liking what we're doing, we'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button. It does help us out. And follow or turn on notifications, whichever streaming service you are watching from. And we are away.
Away we go. And a great start from Lachlan Urquio and Hedersheed there. They've just managed to get a good break from the rest of the pack, who are now just starting to get a little bit of a battle going. Don't be surprised to see 2 wide through here for a while. Both lines will form up. That high line can be a little bit dicey at the start, especially when you've got the carry over from qualifying and practice with the marbles. Once you get up there, the car can get a little bit loose, and Lachlan up here just had that actually happen to him. Just had a little bit of a scrape on the wall. Not a bad thing though here at Bristol. You can afford a few little taps against the wall here and there, but Hedeshid is taking advantage of that little tap. As Urquio loses momentum, Hedeshid is going to make the move, go down underneath him and try and slide up in front of him. He's going to get that move made. Nice job from Hedeshid at the start. Good charge. Watch out for Ryan Jones in the green mean mobile, the 111, fighting his way up the field. We see Ryan Jones often absolutely flying at the starts and sometimes using up a bit of tyre life. But we have seen a little bit more of a subsided stance to Ryan Jones recently, where he's just been using a little bit less and working a little bit more on long run pace over short run pace, and that's really been helping him out. But he has got that real drive to work his way up the field, and he's doing that. Starting down from P6, he's already sort of tried to work his way out to P5, battling it out with Hamish Gallagher and Josh Micklemore at the moment. But Daniel Hedeshid has absolutely broken away at the front. He's already got over a second lead over Edward Foster, his teammate, who's got Lachlan here behind him with Stephen Williams, Hamish Gallagher, Ryan Jones, Josh Micklemore, and Brenton West, Dave Douglas and Matt Hunter.
Yeah, it's a nice clean start here. So this will be what the guys getting the practice in for tomorrow night will be wanting as well, just to get a nice clean run in. Check out how things go for them throughout the run this evening as Joshua Carroll Walden and Matty Hunter still fighting away there. You can see Matty on the low line, Carroll Walden up on that high line. And it looks like Luke Georgeson wants to get involved in this one as well in the 274 Chevrolet entry. And he does just that as Matty Hunter just struggles a little bit off the exit there. And it looks like Ruben Phelps is going to take some advantage on that as well. That low line maybe not working quite as well for him at this point in time. Hedeshid a second ahead at the start of the head of this field. Hamish Gallagher and Stephen Williams fighting as well a little bit further up the field.
Little bit of contact between Stevie Dubb and Gallagher there. Just a little bit of a scrape, making Taylor's nose a little bit shorter than it was beforehand. Just a little bit of a scrape between the two, but nothing too bad between them. Just a little bit of door-to-door contact. Ryan Jones taking advantage of that, though, getting down the inside, trying to make a move on Hamish Gallagher right now. Stevie W keeping that position in the mean black DPR car.
Serious in the
as we've got a big incident down the back. We've got, looks like Ruben Phelps, Aiden Schultz, somebody's gone round at the back, so Georgeson is involved in that one. So we had a big moment there. So Luke Georgeson involved in that. I think there might have been a bit of connection issues as well.
It might have been, yeah. Georgeson just ended up heading up the track. And it caused a huge pile up there. He disappeared and then came back on, and all of a sudden he was in the middle of nowhere. And the number 5 car there, Scott Griffiths, got involved in that as well. So Norm Clark, Griffiths, Peter Wilkinson as well got involved. Unfortunately, Mitchell West, Cade Donnelly, Christopher Finlay, Matty Ray, Tristan Cocker, a huge...
you say Matty Ray. There's not a scratch on that car. He just inched it around perfectly. I think he might have made the tiniest glancing blow on something, but it would have been like a scrape of the tyre. I've never seen anyone move a NASCAR around so elegantly.
It's interesting too, because it registered Peter Wilkinson. You can just see there he's just got a little bit of damage on the back, has Wilco, so that's not going to affect his night too much. So he got through that without too many dramas at all, and as you say, so did Matty Ray. So just obviously close quarters for all those drivers with that incident there, but a number of them getting through. Unfortunately, not so much for Scotty Griffiths, Luke Georgeson or Aiden Schultz, who copped the damage there. You can see the front of that car and the back on the Aussie Esports entry has sustained some significant damage as an innocent bystander to what looked like just an internet dropout there, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a few connection issues. And it does happen. It's a bit of like a mechanical failure. That's how we judge them. It's kind of like a mechanical failure when things like that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So no different to dropping an engine, unfortunately. And it does happen from time to time. So let's bunch things up again. So we'll be a couple laps here under the safety car and the pace car. Safety car, I haven't made that slip up for a while. No doubt I'll get a a teacher's note from Ed Foster for the slip-up. Sorry, Ed.
Yep, that's it. You're going to be sent to the
headmaster,
to the education camps, and we'll see you again in about 6 months. But Heddershee getting a great restart there, away straight away, jumping up in front of his teammate Foster. Lachlan Okio trying to get the low line working. Tries to get a good run off the corner, doesn't quite make it work this time, but he's going to try and put pressure on Foster. But Stephen Williams is the one that looks like he's got some pace in that car at the moment, putting pressure all over the back of Foster. Just can't quite make the move. Urquhart is on the inside.
So Lachlan Urquhart looking like he's got a run on as well. He's got the Diet Coke Taylor Swift mobile behind him. It just ducks down onto the apron there as well. Not sure what happened there. He's jumped into pit lane.
So some kind of issue for Gallagher, I would say, because that is, I'd say he's got some kind of issue going on, because
certainly wouldn't be doing that otherwise. Unless
he's got a penalty. He's got a penalty.
Yeah, right.
Hamish Gallagher's got a penalty, so that is a really, really bad thing for Hamish Gallagher. That is cost him dearly. I'm just going to go back and have a look at a restart on that one. I'm just wondering if he maybe overtook before.
That's going to heavily impact, obviously, on the outcome of his race tonight.
It is indeed, and I the only thing I can think is possibly he got that on the restart somehow, but
passing potentially.
But he didn't seem to pass anyone overly aggressively, so not 100% sure. That's a weird one. So that's a big shame for Hamish Gallagher. That's a big scout to get knocked down this early, but we have seen in the past, being a lap down is not necessarily the end of the race. You can still work your way up to a good place. We saw Brenton West 5 laps down last week and make it back onto the league lap and inside the top 10. So it is possible.
Finishing P7 in that race. That was a great drive back. So not all over, and particularly on a short track like this as well. With people doing different strategies as well, he may just have to run long there. As Ockware gets wide and up into the wall, and it
manages to keep it green.
Not brought out the caution. You could see there, Carl, those marbles you were talking about. Once he got up on those, he just had no control at all.
No, that's it.
Helped out a little bit there to stay straight by, I think it might have been Ryan Jones that kept him going there, but caution avoided, and he used to run another lap.
A bit of a save from Ryan Jones. Dave Douglas doing the damage there, just getting into the back of Lockie, just going up the back end of Lockie and causing him just to get a little bit loose in the rear and go up towards the wall. So, yeah, just a little bit of an incident there. Look, nothing much. It was just a slight mistake. Douglas was straight on the radio saying sorry about that as well. So he knew he made the mistake. Luckily, it's not going to be too damaging for Urquhart. He's going to have a little bit of damage on the car, but it's not going to be something that's going to affect you too much. Look who is currently working their way up the field in P13 and 14.
I was just looking.
We have Dyson and Raymond there, just chipping their way up into the field and doing their usual thing of working their way through the traffic and getting a nice finishing position.
Yeah, already up. So good run here from Dyson. He's already up 10 positions, 11 for Matty Ray. So doing their work the way that they do it best. So just getting it done. So it'll be a good run for tomorrow night, both of them.
Yeah, it gives you some good information. Of course, the Cup car is a very different beast. Over 100 more horsepower in that car, as well as a bit more aero towards it as well, which does get switched on this track. Although it's very short, this track is, it's only 0.8 of a kilometre. It's a very short place, but the speeds that they are doing, they're getting up towards 220, 230 kilometres per hour. So the aero does come on for these cars, and that extra power in the Cup car as well does change things. It makes it a very different car to drive around this track compared to something like the Xfinity car, which has a little bit less weight, a little bit less power, and a little bit less aero as well. So it's a very different beast to drive, but it does give you the basics.
Yeah, if not just understanding the track.
Yeah, that's it. You see there, Norman Clark just getting out the way, but Heddershee just making a bit of a mistake there as he was getting past his teammate for track position. It's a Natari 1-2-3 on the track, not in position though, but all three of those cars just doing a nice job for the AJ Insurance Services sponsor there, and showing them off very well. But Hedershy just getting a little bit loose as he got past.
And maybe just a little bit nervous. Trying to make his way through there, but no damage done. He continues to lead the race. He's got Ed Foster right behind him. Probably be on the radio to one another at the moment, just using this to practice maybe some help for tomorrow night, because of course you stand a better chance when you're fighting as a team, particularly with the strong...
Foster making a move though, getting down underneath Hedershy right there. Foster's going to get up into the lead here and show Hedershy how it's done for a little bit. Just go, look, you know, this is how you get it working. Look who's trying to unlap himself though. You've got the car of Hamish Gallagher there trying to make the pass, and he is trying to get through quickly. Thank you for joining us, Sent from Heaven. Colour-wise, I'd say it's more so because it's the night time and it is here at Bristol. It does make it look a little bit strange on the colour of the actual broadcast, because it is such a because it's a concrete track. It's got a lot of flair to it, and the actual spotlights cause it to feel like it's sort of out of balance. That's probably why you're noticing a little bit of colour, why it feels a bit strange for colour.
Phrasing, Luke Trahell. What do you want about Luke? Phrasing. He's having a go at what at our expressions, Carl.
I don't know what Luke's talking about.
Don't know what he's talking about.
We don't drop phrases in and drop things in to try and put a couple of words in some places to
not at all,
add a little bit of excitement.
Making words up, that wouldn't be part of our commentary, would it?
Not at all.
I have no idea what he's talking about. Anyway, Luke Trahell should be out here racing in the stream commenting. I think he's doing V8s tonight, so good luck with that. Sent from Heaven, thanks for joining us on Twitch as well. We really appreciate you tuning in and dropping in some comments, as there was a big whack there from Daniel Hedershy up into the wall. So how is that going to affect the car? That was a big hit. Jump on the right-hand rear corner there and just have a little bit of a look. That's not the right-hand rear corner of that car at all.
This is why we don't let Stuart race in ovals, because he doesn't know his left from his right, and he ends up crashing quite quickly.
Yeah, no good at all. But you can't see the damage there. That's just the car camera that we've got set up tonight. I've forgotten he gets into it again. So getting really, really loose. In fact, what we'll do is we'll jump on with Stevie Williams. Have a look out of the front of that. Just see if we can see any of the damage there as Stevie Williams makes the move down underneath Daniel Hedershy as well. So maybe you wouldn't expect the tyres to have gone off on that car, but I don't know, just struggling a little bit, Daniel.
Yeah, he's running a little bit too high at the moment. He's trying to run that super high line at the moment. I think he's just catching a couple of marbles, and it's just throwing him off a little bit. Now, all the cars will run a very high line here, but it's just keeping the car just a little bit lower, as Foster makes the same mistake actually and just goes up into the wall, leading the race, and that's going to give Hamish Gallagher the chance to try and unlap himself. But you want to just run just below that marble curve. So you just want to try and keep it below there, because that's going to be the fastest line. Because the banking is so high here, you generally sort of wall of deathing it. It's like when you see those motorbikes riding around in a circle or in those cages, you use the centrifugal force to keep the car locked onto the ground. And that's effectively why we have ovals with high banking, because it acts like a centrifuge. It keeps the car locked down. And before things like downforce were invented, that's how you kept a car to the ground going around a corner. So we have that in there. Big puff of smoke in front of Foster there. I think that might have been Christopher Finlay just there, just getting a little bit loose maybe on the exit. So not sure who exactly that was, but nothing major there popping up on the screen. But yeah, you just want to try and get as high as possible and keep it going as fast as possible, because despite feeling like that's going to be an accident waiting to happen, that will actually make it work better for you.
It's kind of like that old thing about the Nürburgring, where if you don't drive fast enough, you'll crash.
That's it. Yeah, it's like driving a downforce car. You know, if you don't drive fast enough, you will crash because it won't work. And it is just it's one of those things that feels unnatural sometimes. But right now, we've got Hamish Gallagher making a pass on the leader, but not for the lead. Hamish Gallagher a lap down after a penalty. some kind of infringement he did. He must have got a black flag and had to serve a drive-through early in this race, but this will get him back on the lead lap if he can get past Foster crucially. Meanwhile, Foster has checked out in the front. He has got almost a 5-second lead over that man, Hamish Gallagher's teammate, Josh Micklemore. Meanwhile, Hederschied has dropped down to 6th position, so he is dropping positions quite quickly. Quite a bit of damage to the front right of that car as well. Stevie Dubb up there pretty well as well in P4. Ryan Jones up in P3. A lot of damage on the front of that vehicle as well. So Ryan Jones has had a big whack somewhere along the line.
Yeah, I noticed a bit of damage on the back of Dave Douglas's car as well. I don't know if those two amounts of damage are connected in some way, but we didn't catch it. It's because of caution to come out. Maybe just something there that we missed on the stream, but Edward Foster is now getting very much caught up in traffic. He's got Tristan Cock on the outside there. He is lapping him. He's actually lapped everyone up to and including Hamish Gallagher at 13, just down below him there. So he's making his way through the field. Very easy to get a lap down here, as you can see there on the timing monitor as well. So he's got Matt Hunter is the next car in his sights, just a little bit further up on the banking. So 56 into 150 here, it's flying by, and it'll do that at a 15-second lap. So without only one caution so far.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just going back and having a little bit of a look in the old reverse cam on my screens and seeing exactly what happened. And it looks like Dave Douglas just got up into the wall, just got very high, and that's just lost him a lot of positions. Still don't know what's happened to Ryan Jones. I'm still trying to find out exactly what happened. I'm wondering if that was maybe the contact with Lachlan Urquio after the restart earlier on in the session.
Very possible indeed. There's no checkup or anything like that, so...
No, nothing major. There's a big gap between the leader and Josh Micklemore as well, so that's interesting to see. Right now, Matt Hunter just getting past in the Vision Motorsport car, going a lap down, and Hamish Gallagher crucially getting past him. Now, Gallagher doesn't need to pass Foster. He just needs to be the car that's behind Foster. That's his crucial point, because if a caution gets thrown, he will get the lucky dog in that position.
Yeah, it wants to be that lead lap down car to get that thing unlapped the easiest and catch up onto the back of the field. Almost detrimental to his race if he's just in front of Foster if the caution falls.
Which West are you talking about? Sorry, Sent from Heaven? As we've got a caution, we have got a caution. Tristan Cock, I believe, caught up with that one as Peter Wilkinson's gone round. So Peter Wilco and Tristan Cock just getting into each other that time round, going around, and that's what's brought out that caution flag. I reckon we'll see a lot of cars coming in now for repairs, possibly a fresh set of boots, and just get a little bit more fuel in the tank. For the West's update, Mitchell West did get a little bit of damage from that early incident. Meanwhile, Brenton West is up in P5.
So I'll go back and have a look at this incident. Did we catch who that was? Was it? You said it was
Peter Wilkinson and Tristan Cock. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we'll just go back and have another look at that one as the timing monitor goes wild. There's a whole heap of cars jump into pit lane. Let's have a quick look at what happened to Pete. Oh yeah, you can see there just into that left-hand rear. It's put a lot of damage on the right-hand front corner of that car. So, but again, as long as the steering wheel's not too badly off, which doesn't look like it is, he should be right with that to still press on. Jump in to get a bit of repairs done now. Did that end up playing out for Hamish Gallagher? I didn't see where he was when the caution was called, so he's going to unlap himself. That is crucial. In fact, he's stayed out there at the moment, so...
He is sticking it out at the moment, so he's coming into pit lane now. So he's going to come into pit lane now because he had to take the lucky dog, of course. So that's going to drop him back to the back of this pack, but he will be on the lead lap crucially. And we've seen that Hamish Gallagher has got the speed to keep it up there with people like Foster. Obviously, Josh Micklemore's going to want to get a good restart and keep to the back of Foster from here on, because he was dropping pace. I mean, dropping to back 4 seconds is a fair drop off here, and he had a big gap to himself and Edward Foster before we saw that yellow come out. But if he can hook himself onto the back of that Natari Autosport car, then Josh Micklemore will be looking pretty strong. He's got to watch out for Ryan Jones, though, sitting behind him. We know how aggressive Ryan Jones can be, and he's going to want to try and get that car up to a decent spot for the race finish as well. Brenton West there sitting in 5th. Again, a strong race from him, just keeping his nose as clean as possible, just keeping out of trouble. Stephen Williams in, Brendan West in 4th, Stephen Williams in 5th position. Again, just keeping it up there, doing a nice job in the race so far. And it is a fixed setup race, as I said from home. So all the ANZCAR series is fixed setup. We do have a couple of open setup races in the Cup, but they are special one-off events. So all the setups are pretty much the same.
It's Trev jumping in. Welcome, Trev, as always. Just saying that Josh is looking in control, but if he's in control, he's not going fast enough.
Well, that's it. If you're not sliding it, if you're not gripping onto the wheel every lap, thinking you're about to die, then you're not going fast enough.
This drops in. Thanks for the follow there, sent from Heaven. Appreciate it. But yeah, Trev just jumping in there and giving a little bit of stick to Josh. But no, Josh is doing well. Didn't probably qualify as well as he probably wanted to, but has managed to just work his way up to the front. So status quo, and his teammates come back from a lap down now as well. So the Mitch Motorsport Boys night sort of gets back underway as it normally would. So Gallagher's got a little bit of work to do here, but he is back on the lead lap, fresh tyres, like all those in front of him. So let's see how this plays out as we get back underway. Edward Foster drops the hammer, gets us underway here. Josh Mickelmore goes with him well, and Foster just gets a little high there. Mickelmore gets a good run on him. In the background is Ryan Jones. They know he'll be coming at them hard and fast if they don't get away. Of course, Foster had a good lead going into that caution period that's been taken away from him. He's got to re-establish that now. It's not going to be so easy with Josh Mickelmore behind him. He's going to have to cut and run.
Yeah, Micklemore's going to be putting on the pressure, as I think Brent West might have just had a connection issue, a little bit of a dropout. Hopefully that doesn't affect him too much. Hopefully that settles down. He seems to have settled for now. So that's all good. We don't want to see another repeat of the Georgeson incident. Unfortunately, earlier on, that was the first caution. Bit of a dropout of connectivity, but Foster is in the lead. But Mickelmore has done a great restart right on the back of Foster. As I said, he's put himself on there, almost thrown a line onto the back of Foster's car just to keep himself there. Bit of a bungee cord on there just to make sure he doesn't fall off the back of that Atari car. Foster is very quick around a track like this, though, and is, of course, a Cup champion, so very tricky to beat. But Mickelmore has got the pedigree of his own. So many wins in that car. Of course, a fantastic driver in the ANZCAR field, and part of that Mitch team, who are always in contention for race wins and championships throughout every series we run.
So Daniel Heddersheed's actually a lap down now, so he's had a very much a fall from grace.
Yeah, Heddersheed, I think, he was actually in the pits lane.
He's been in twice, so he must have got a penalty.
So I believe he actually might have been in the pit lane before the caution came out. So he spun it going into the corner just before that caution came out, and he just got into pit lane before the caution flag fell. So he actually got kind of lucky, because he would have been a bit more down otherwise. That caution just falling for him as he accidentally got into pit lane. So yeah, not the start he would have wanted, and this is exactly what he needs to do tonight, is learn the track for the Cup race, because this is a learning exercise for him, because he's got the pace obviously, but just doesn't quite have the consistency that's needed.
Yeah, no, we're looking for help the rest of the team tomorrow night as well. So JCW and Foster both in the chase contending, so they'll be wanting the extra assistance that a third car up in that lead pack can give.
And most importantly, Natari want to be the third team to get the triple. They want to lock out those top three positions and say, look, we can do it as well as Mitch Motorsport and DPR.
What would be the odds on getting that? Three teams locking out the podium in the first 3 rounds of the chase.
Astronomical. I'll go with astronomical with that one, because yeah, I wouldn't even know where to start with working out the odds in that one. Yeah.
But it is Edward Foster. He's just edging out. It's got half a second now over Mickelmore. We are already 77 through 150 here at Bristol. The Xfinity cars for the ANZCAR Thunder Series. So there's plenty of time left. Mickelmore's in a good position now. Be happy with how his race has progressed so far tonight. As will Ryan Jones. He's got Brenton West on his heel. Brenton having a good qualifying effort tonight. So they'll be just managing things here. There's every chance we'll have another caution. Dave Douglas, our last car on the lead lap. Andrew Dyson has made his way up, as has Matty Ray, as we expected. Matty Ray up 17 positions, biggest mover of the night so far, into P8. Did get a little bit involved in an incident before, but because he's Mr. Sheen, the other car just slipped right off the side of him, and he managed to get away with it. So good work from them to get up inside the top 10.
Importantly, between Daiso and Raymond is Hamish Gallagher in P9. So managed to get a good restart there, made a couple of positions up. Hamish Gallagher is trying to get back up to the lead pack and get his way into a good position for the finish of this race. Try and mitigate the...
There's a huge crunch there.
A bit of an incident in the midfield there. I think a little bit of contact on the back of Peter Wilkinson. I think he might have just got up in the wall a little bit, came down. Ruben Phelps just gave him a little bit of a tag. Managed to keep the car going in the right direction. Stevie Dub just got involved in that one. Just a little bit of slap fighting going on. Nothing major, but that's going to cost all those cars speed, and it's going to cost somebody like Joshua Carroll-Walden a position, because he's going to lose a little bit of pace there, and that's going to drop him down a little bit. Yeah,
and Wilco there losing the bumper on the back of that one, so more damage on the 268 locked on lads. Entry. Seems
but
like another
learning experience for Wilco.
A couple of guys getting up into the walls here, and you can just hear it there on the microphone, or on the speakers even. You can't hear things on the microphone, but you can certainly hear them on a speaker.
If you are hearing something on a microphone, something that's gone very, very wrong indeed. But yeah, look, Bristol, it is one of those tracks where you are going to get a little bit of wall riding, a little bit of tapping on the wall. It is pretty common here. And if you're a fan of this place, like I know a lot of you are out there, it is pretty common to see cars just riding up into that wall a few times. It's very rare that you'll see a car get through Bristol without a couple of scratches on the old paintwork. But what I was going to say there is Peter Wilkinson, new to oval racing mainly, so getting his feet sort of in the door and sort of getting used to riding in ovals. It's a very different format for him to actually work in. Mainly a traditional circuit racer, often in the Skip Barber series. So the ovals is something different for him, and he is learning in the Xfinity series, the Thunder, the Wednesday Night Thunder. And of course, if you enjoy this style of racing, you can do that too. And this is the ideal place to do it in. This is what the Thunder is here for. It's a learning experience. It's where you come to learn and get good at your craft, and eventually work your way up to the different parts of the racing circuit. As Ryan Jones just gets a big bite into the concrete barrier on the outside. Well, I should say the safer barrier on the outside. And that's just given Brenton West a little bit of hope catching up to him.
About to say something about eating into. Micklemore's now eaten into the lead that Foster had built for himself, and he is on the bumper and looking for a way around him. That's easier said than done.
Yes, as a great man once said, catching is one thing, but passing is another. You can see Micklemore is just riding that mid to low line at the moment. Foster is keeping the mid to high line, so he's doing a bit of defending. Foster goes down the low line as they're getting past Mitchell West there, so lapping a car. Foster goes right down to the low line as that happens, and that's going to lose him a bit of speed on the exit, which Micklemore is going to take advantage of. He's going to use a lapped car to take advantage. They go free wide. Micklemore gets into Foster. Big accident as Micklemore goes round into Cock.
And our third caution comes out.
Foster with nowhere to go there, trapped in the middle between two cars. It was a It was a sandwich of a Mitch Motorsport car and Tristan Cock there. Josh Micklemore just getting caught up there, and Foster, the meat in the middle. Little bit of a mistake, I'd say, from Josh Micklemore there. Just tiny bit there. Very close between those drivers, but luckily for Micklemore, not too much damage.
You can see him there. This is good strategy. There's nothing wrong with this bit at all. But just nowhere to go, and he's just tried to close it out. Probably couldn't see Foster there, and Foster had nowhere to go either. And
I tell you what, the biggest issue in that sort of position is often with the spotter, it will tell you that you're clear because you may have passed.
You clear the cut. Sorry,
yeah.
Decker.
He's passed Foster, doesn't know Tristan Cock out there, and then all of a sudden it goes into that sort of accident, and that's usually the issue, the AI playing up a bit for the old spotter. A few cars coming into pit lane. Ruben Phelps, Matty Raymond, Joshua Carroll-Walden, Josh Micklemore, Hamish Gallagher all coming into pit lane. Foster Ryan Jones, Brenton West, Stevie Williams staving out. Daiso sticking it out there, as well as Dave Douglas. So a few different strategies starting to play off now. So we'll see how this one works out as the race goes on here at Bristol for FGM eCast.
And Micklemore in pit lane is going to come back out, and he should retain his position on the lead lap. So hopefully not too much damage there to wreck his evening, and he'll make a challenge from there. Luckily it's on a short track as well, so you know the damage will not be quite as easily felt.
Yeah, look, that's something that is great about Bristol is, you know, unless you completely fluff it up and end up, you know, ruining the engine or damaging the radiators, you can generally keep it going for most of the race without too much issue. If you do tend to damage the radiators and the engine, that might put a dampener to it, but usually suspension damage is not too much of a problem. You don't end up having that much, and aero isn't really something you have to think about here, so you know, you don't really need to worry about the draft and having a little bit of bodywork hanging off here and there or missing the front end, because you still got the speed in there from that honking great big V8 under the bonnet.
Yep. So, as I said, should be able to keep going and maybe battle his way back up to the front. He's back in pit lane, just getting some more repairs done to that while he can.
Sound strategy, you know, using the time to get the repairs done. Of course, no fast repairs in ANZCAR. We do not believe in a fast repair, because if you damage your car, then that's your fault. You don't get any freebies from us. So it is a little bit tougher than some series. I mean, you know, it's one of those things that there is that great debate of, you know, quick fast repairs are fantastic when you need them, but it is also a something that it does give you a bit of a freebie for an accident. And I think in oval racing, especially in stock car racing, it's one of those series where if you get damaged, you just got to live with it, and you just have to survive it, because a fast repair kind of just makes it people a little bit more keen to risk things. So not having that band-aid solution, not having that option available to you, makes you a little bit more careful.
Yeah, well, of course, if we are attempting to simulate real life, there's no fast repairs.
Well, if you give a mechanic enough Colombian nose candy, then they can repair a car pretty quickly, apparently. But that's not always the most legal way. Brenton West again having a couple of connectivity issues. Looks like he's managed to get that stabilised again, hopefully. And we are going back to green flag racing. Foster gets a fantastic restart ahead of Ryan Jones. Brenton West in third position, drops down behind Stevie Dub. Stevie Dub on the high side at the moment, trying to make it round the outside. Can't quite make it stick, but he is going to do it now. Stephen Williams getting up into P3. Will he keep it up there? Yes, he will. And Joshua Carroll Walden trying to make the move in an Atari car as well. Both on the high side, doing the run at the moment. Hamish Gallagher sitting behind them with Andrew Dyson. Watch out for those cars working their way up with that man, Matty Ray, leader of the championship at the moment, and Dave Douglas sneaking his way up the field too. Watch out for those cars as JCW goes down the inside of Stephen Williams there, trying to make the move done. He's trying to get it stuck, gets a little bit of wheel spin on the exit. That's going to give Hamish Gallagher the opportunity to get a bit of a run here. Gallagher working his way through the field nicely, getting a fantastic restart, making his way up into P5, P4 now for Hamish Gallagher. That early black flag, that early drive-through penalty has not set him back at all at the moment. Cost him a little bit of time early on in the race, but he is making up for it now as he moves up into third position and tries for second place on Ryan Jones.
Yeah, it won't be easy there with Jonesy. Williams just getting up close into that high line and gets into the wall there. That balks JCW in the 35 entry a little bit, but he's going to get the move done.
Hamish Gallagher getting really loose mid-corner through turns 3 and 4, loses the rear end a little bit, has to save that one, does a good job of it though, manages to get the throttle control perfect there to keep the car next to Ryan Jones, side by side as you're going sideways. That is fantastic driving from Hamish Gallagher there, and he makes the move as well.
Ridiculously good driving, car control from the guys there. Gotta have it. Gonna need at some stage to save yourself. So fantastic driving, and you can see there as well. Hamish Gallagher now making a move for the lead on Edward Foster, and he is gonna take it.
Remember, Gallagher has got fresh tyres, so Foster stayed out there. He took the risk of sticking it out there, hoping that the tyre wear and tyre degradation wasn't going to be too high. Turns out it is. So he's getting really caught out right now. So his teammate Joshua Carroll-Walden is on fresher tyres than him as well. And you can see JCW just absolutely flying through now as well. So he's going to be the hare that needs to try and chase down Hamish Gallagher. Sorry, the greyhound, I should say, that needs to chase down Hamish Gallagher's hare and put pressure on him so Foster can maybe get back in this one. Foster's banking on a late caution so he can slap a new pair of tyres on there, of course, and try for the end of the race. There are tyre limits in the Thunder series, so you are limited to 4 sets of tyres. So you only have, you start on the set you're using, and then you have 3 sets to use. So Hamish Gallagher will have used 2 sets already. Meanwhile, Foster's only used 1. So if we get a couple more cautions later in the race, it could come back to Foster.
That's what he's going to be banking on. So we'll see how that plays out. Of course, every chance that there will be, every chance that there won't be. I guess that's why it's a chance. He's going to have to hope that happens. Josh Micklemore also on fresher rubber. He pit on 96. Of course, getting the repairs done. He's already back up into 4th position. So that is a storming restart from him in the 31. Mitch Motorsport entry. You can see he's already up onto the back of Foster here. So
we've got an accident. We've got a big accident. Daniel Heddersheet involved in that one. I saw one of the DPR cars getting up into the wall. I'm not sure who it was.
Dyson and Williams.
Yeah, it might have been Andrew Dyson getting up into the wall then. No, it was Stevie Williams, and Brendan West getting involved in that one. So let's go back and have a bit of a look. So Stevie Dubs actually got caught up with Ruben Phelps. Lost a little bit of time. There. Gone around and then been pinged down as there was nowhere to go. As Brendan West really just had nowhere to go as there was a slow-moving Stevie Williams in front of him. Pinged him around, and that has absolutely gone into a massive wreck here. That is a fair few cars caught up in that, and a fair few of the fast cars as well.
I'm just saying that Edward Foster will be hoping that happened. It has, and he's managed to be in P3 when that occurred. But of course now there's going to be a whole host of drivers who will be looking to not pit, having pit on laps 94, 95 or 96. So it's still going to be a fresher set of tyres. It could be advantageous for them towards the end of the race.
Yeah, Foster's going to have much fresher tyres by about 20 laps now, so that's going to help him out an enormous amount. Big gain in Josh Micklemore's rolled the dice a little bit. He's come in and slapped a new set of tyres on that one as well, so he'll be down to maybe 1 set of tyres left, or he might have used them all up by now. So he's going to be very much touch and go on those tyres. They're all down to getting towards sort of low sets of tyres, but Foster has Foster's got another set of tyres that he can use. Yeah. Meanwhile, somebody like Hamish Gallagher is pretty much stuck now. He should have an extra set of tyres as well because he's gone through the pit lane 3 times. So that first time was for a penalty. But they don't want to use that last set of tyres up too early because they want to have enough time to use them. So if we see another caution in about 5 or 10 laps, we'll see them all come in again, grab those fresh tyres and equal the playing field. If not, this could be a great result for somebody like Foster who's going to have those fresh tyres. Same with Ryan Jones, Josh Micklemore as well, and Gary Wellman. Gary Wellman sneaking his way up into P9 there, so good job from Gary Wellman.
Of course, in the Simboys entry, so Gary making his way up just quietly. Speaking quietly, Matty Ray, P4.
Yeah, Matty Ray, we know he'll sneak his way through there. That's a normal one. Gary Wellman somehow sneaking that luminescent green car up the field, but doing a great job of it. But Hamish Gallagher in the lead of the race after it looked so dire for him with that penalty early on. That is a great recovery. He's got Joshua Carroll-Walden on the outside. They are both on relatively fresh tyres. They're both on tyres that have done about 20-odd laps. Matty Ray behind him is going to be looking to keep that position. He's going to be looking for a strong finish as well because he's got the championship to think about. Watch out for Dave Douglas and Ruben Phelps as well. Those two will want to go well, but Foster and Micklemore, I think, are going to be the big ones to watch out for, as well as Ryan Jones. They are going to be trying to charge their way through the field. Big thing you've got to be careful of on this restart when you're on those slightly older tyres is not to spin them up too much because you will lose a lot of time. And we have seen in the past people spinning up a little bit too much and losing the rear end. So you've just got to be a little bit careful with the accelerator, just not dropping the throttle too quickly, because that will absolutely wreck your race. Pace car comes in. Hamish Gallagher drops it right on the corner. That might catch a few people out. Doesn't know. He does get a good restart. Speaking of restarts, Matty Ray getting a fantastic job down the inside of Joshua Carroll-Walden. Matty Ray's going to try and hold that position down there and get up into second place. Will he be able to make it stick with that low line? He's going to sure try it, but it looks like the high line's going to be the faster line. And Ruben Phelps is going to slip past Matty Ray.
Good start from both of them there. Phelps on the outside. He's had a quiet night, which is generally a good thing. He's moved his way back up into P3, so despite that little bit of damage on the back there. So that gets a little bit closer between Douglas and Nickelmore. Just a little bit loose there for Double D.
And look at Foster getting his way past on that low line, able just to run that low line with a little bit more ease. Underneath Ruben Phelps, little bit of side-by-side contact there, nothing major. He manages to keep the car going in a straight line, which is important. It's made Ryan Jones just check up a little bit, and that's caused Josh Mickelmore to check up too. You can see also Matty Raymond just dropping down a little bit, just thinking, I'm just going to go into preservation mode right here because this is looking a little bit dicey for me. So just thinking about keeping that car nice and clean and not into any trouble as Foster and Phelps are side by side. Phelps manages to keep the line. Meanwhile, Josh Micklemore's now on the charge on the low line, trying to get past Foster. He's got past Ryan Jones. Will he manage to get past Foster? Can't quite make it around this time. He's got Gary Wellman there to fight him as well. Two green cars. One of them is Ryan Jones, one of them is Gary Wellman. The slightly darker one is Ryan Jones, of course, in the 111. He is there just blocking it out for Micklemore at the moment. That high line seems to be the one that works the best. Foster trying to make the move on Ruben Phelps once more. Gets a good run down the inside. Ruben Phelps getting up a little bit high. He's going to lose that position to Foster. To see Ryan Jones trying to pounce on that, take advantage of it. Can't quite make it work this time, but next time round he does. Ryan Jones sliding his way up in front of Ruben Phelps. A good pass for position. A little bit of a slide job, but nicely done. Gary Wellman thinking about doing the same thing on Ruben Phelps as well. And he makes it stick.
Yeah, good move there from Wellman as well. So he's now right up on the bumper bar of Ryan Jones. As someone gets up into the wall there as well. Josh Mickelmore still down on that inside line there, trying to make something happen if he can. Just have to comply and follow him, fall in behind Gary Wellman there. It's not quite able to get that move done just yet, but I can tell you Edward Foster's just got past Joshua Carroll-Walden as Ryan Jones has done the same thing.
Now, Carroll-Walden's going to desperately try and get Ryan Jones back here, but he can't quite make it. Tyres just not quite letting him keep up with that pace, and you can see Gary Wellman punishing him now as well as Josh Mickelmore. So JCW is just going to get swallowed up by this pack now, and this is important for Foster because he needs to start chasing down Hamish Gallagher, who has got around about over half a second lead at the moment, so doing well out there.
It just shows you the benefit of those new tyres. Foster was languishing, falling back down through the field, gets the caution, gets the new set of tyres, and off he goes back up in to the lead pack, in fact challenging for the lead of the race.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that is, of course, ever changing in our racing is the tyre physics and tyre modelling. We've been here a few times and it has changed the way the race is run, of course. You know, when the new tyre models get changed, it changes up the racing, it changes up how the cars handle, and it changes how they go on the long run as well. So we're seeing tonight that obviously the tyre degradation is a little bit higher than it used to be. Didn't used to see that much degradation here at Bristol, but tonight it has definitely come on a little bit stronger. That pack is closing up to Gallagher. Gallagher's just going to be glancing into his mirror every now and again and seeing an angry swarm of cars gaining on him lap after lap. We've got 18 remaining, and he's going to be hoping there are only 2 laps remaining because he's just seeing these cars eat into his lead right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That needs, again, the new tyres. Ryan Jones as well coming through. He's back up with Gary Wellman, and Hamish Gallagher now has Foster all over the back of him. Foster here just trying to use Wilco if he can to help him out. Wilco's just on that bottom line. That's actually helped out Hamish Gallagher instead. So that hasn't, Wilco's done the right thing there, just got out of the way as quickly as he could and as safely as he could. But Ryan Jones now gets around the outside of Foster. Gary Wellman looking to go with him. Hamish Gallagher, Josh Mickelmore trying to attach onto the back of that as well as we go too wide. Just comply there, get into the line, but Wellman now all on the back of Edward Foster. Jones, he's challenging Gallagher for the lead as there's 16 to go here this time around. And Jones right up on the back now. He's got fresh tyres, so Gallagher's going to have to get elbows out here for 15 laps. Jones says, I'm not having any of that. I'm going to try and go down the inside, and he gets underneath him. It's close between the two, but plenty of respect shown as Jones is challenging for the lead. This is his type of finish. All right, he gets into Gallagher. Gets into Gallagher.
And Gallagher have contact on the back there. Jones very lucky to not actually go around there, because that would have that was very close to causing him to spin out. Good control there to not lose that car, but this is going to give Foster the advantage. Foster's going to try for that high line, try and get a move on Jones right now. Will he make it work? He is desperately trying. We only got 12 laps remaining of this race. Foster on the inside, Jones on the outside. Jones with a very beaten up looking front end. Foster with a relatively clean one. Some from Heaven just say, iRacing tyres is a bit like buying them second hand. You never know what you're going to get. Very much so.
Absolutely true. Very accurate. And Ryan Jones there gets under Tristan Cox, so he's trying to stick out of the way, and he has done just that as Foster now tries to find a way around. How is he going to get the lead of this race back? Gary Wellman's gone with him. Micklemore's dropped back with Gallagher now as they just get past the lap traffic. There's 11 to go here. They might be saving for a final push at the front here. Maybe they're hoping there might be a caution just to tidy things up. I doubt it. They'll make a challenge back if they can as Foster looks around. Can he find a way to get past Ryan Jones here? Not so far. Jonesy doing a good job. These guys on the same age tyres, so there's no tyre issue there. Just that bit of damage on Jones's car playing to the favour of Edward Foster. Gary Wellman as well with a clean set of panels on that 45 entry.
Yeah, he is really trying at the moment. Foster is using every bit of the track. He is all over the back of Jones in the mirrors as well, just trying to put him off. Jones is running the midline rather than the pure high line, so he is just running a bit more of a defensive line. The midline can be a little bit quicker around here, but it's Foster who is really trying his best. And as they get up to some more lap traffic, Foster is thinking about making a move once more. They go almost 4 wide as they get past the lap traffic there. Foster still on the back of Jones. We've got 6 laps remaining right here. Jones has just got to defend. Gary Wellman sitting nicely at the moment in P3. Not looking like he's going to put too much pressure on Foster at the moment. He's just sitting back there and waiting to see what happens at the moment. I think he's just waiting to see if this ends up in a little bit of fisticuffs, because we've seen before with Foster and Jones, it can sometimes end up with a little bit of touching here and there, and sometimes with the car spinning.
Yeah, again, Ed just gets held up there, Foster. But he's managed to switch it up. He's got down on the inside. He had the nose up.
We've got a caution. We've got a caution. As I think it might have been one of the ANZCAR cars.
Yeah, it was Aiden Schultz.
Yeah, Aiden Schultz just losing it.
Coming out of pit lane.
Yep. He's just spun it up on the pit exit, unfortunately. Unfortunate for Aiden Schultz. Again, the Black Cat has jumped in front of his car and really hurt his race. He was trying to get out there just to get a couple of laps underneath it, but that car is pretty much done. Now, do we see everybody coming in for brand new tyres, or do we see people sticking out there for track position? What are we going to find here? We're probably going to see a green-white checker right now. This is going to be an absolute sprint to the finish. Just asking about how Hamish Gallagher got back into the lead. Of course, we did see that caution that saw Hamish Gallagher get back on the lead lap, and then he changed his tyres and managed to charge his way through the field on fresh rubber. Dave Douglas has pitted. He is the only driver that's decided to come in for fresh tyres. So Dave Douglas rolling the dice a little bit, getting fresh rubber, and he's going to try and make a run for the end of this race.
Well, it's probably worth it from back there. I mean, he was in P7, so you know, you've got to do something different, because he was on older tyres. Andrew Dyson's jumped in as well, so you've got to try something. Fresh rubber, what can you get done in 3 laps?
This will be an interesting,
interesting restart.
Battle right here.
Brings Josh Mickelmore and Hamish Gallagher right back into it. Pole sitter Lachlan Urquio as well. So it really changes up what we could see here in a final podium.
Been a bit of balance going on over the radio between Foster and Jonesy. just trying to work out who owes who what from prior engagements, but there's going to be fireworks between these two drivers. They end up next to each other so many times on track, and we know that neither of them will back down. which is why we sometimes see the odd accident between them, because they will not back down, they will not stop fighting, and they will absolutely go for it. Both of them are some of the hardest chargers in the field. And right now, Josh Micklemore is hoping for that. Same with Gary Wellman. They're just hoping that Foster and Jones decide to have a bit of an extra battle with each other and take each other out, because that could be very beneficial for people like Josh Micklemore, Hamish Gallagher, and Gary Wellman.
We've also
Quick
got
mention as well. Sorry, to Lachlan Urquhart working his way back up to P6 after that early incident.
We've also got, and I'm not sure if it'll get sorted out or not, but we've got the 52 of Aidan Schultz smack bang in the middle of this pack. Hopefully he's just moving down to the low line there now.
Yeah.
To get that sorted out. So that would not have been good.
No, the lapped cars will be dropping back. Some of them would have got the wave around, but most of them will be dropping back now for the green-white checker, so they'll have to drop to the back of the line. You can see Ryan Jones there doing the old method of trying to warm up the tyres. Doesn't work. Complete myth. But the reason he's doing that is to get into the head of the driver behind him, one Mr. Edward Foster, who absolutely despises seeing tyre weavers. So he is doing his best to get the psychological aspect on his side. So we are going to go back to green flag racing here. Ryan Jones, Edward Foster, Josh Micklemore behind him with Gary Wellman, Hamish Gallagher, Lachlan Urquhart, Dave Douglas on fresh tyres with Maddie Ray, Andrew Dyson and Brenton West. Top 10 drivers, how this is going to go.
When will he drop the hammer? What is going on there? That was down on the inside. Anyway, we're about to go. Jonesy goes straight away. He gets it underway. Lachlan Urquhart gets choked up a little bit back there. And Edward Foster ducks down to the inside. Foster looks like he's going to get a run on here on Jones. He's gone down to that inside line. Jonesy pulls out quite well out of it. Oh, Wellman's been hit.
Wellman, contact between Wellman and Josh Micklemore, as well as Hamish Gallagher. So Hamish Gallagher, Josh Micklemore making contact. That's broken up that pack. That's going to give Urquhart a great run up to P3 possibly. Watch out for Dave Douglas on those fresh tyres, but Ryan Jones has checked out at the front. The white flag will be coming out, and we are going to be coming across for the checkered. It's going to be Ryan Jones who's going to take out victory here tonight over Edward Foster and Andrew Dyson. Dyso eventually working his way up there somehow, unchecked there. Dyso just slipping it up there some way.
How has that happened? Andrew Dyson got taken out in an incident not 15 laps ago, and now he's up into third position.
You need to go on board for Andrew Dyson for that last lap.
Let's do that.
So,
we'll go back to the green flag.
So
we'll jump on board. We're on board now with Andrew Dyson for this replay. So we're green-white checker here.
We're down in 10th position at this stage, so we're a fair way down right now. You see that little bit of movement. There's a little bit of a checkup. You can see Gary Wellman and Josh Micklemore making contact. Dyso just absolutely dives it underneath of spinning Hamish Gallagher, gets underneath Dave Douglas right here. It's charging along. You can see Lachlan Urquhart making the move on Gary Wellman. Those two get close together on the exit. They're going to make contact on the final lap. Dave Douglas tries to make it through as well. Those go three wide. This is going to give Dyso the opportunity to just dive through here on fresh tyres and get P3. What a run from Dyso at the end there.
Unbelievable. Just ducks out of the throttle there and just gets the job done. That's a fantastic finish from Andrew Dyson.
Everybody was asking over the radio, where did Dyso come from? Because he just appeared from nowhere with that one. That was a fantastic last couple of laps. That's one for the highlights reel for sure. But no achievements taken away from the race winner, Ryan Jones. Fantastic restart. He got that restart perfectly timed. Great job for Ryan Jones, taking another victory in ANZCAR. A really successful driver, and of course a fellow commentator, showing that the guys in the booth can of course race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a great finish there. I can't believe that Dyso's managed to jump up onto the podium there, and he'll be the first one to say it, but a fantastic bit of driving from him in the end there as well. So well done to those guys. In fact, we'll drag them in now. Ryan Jones, we've got Edward Foster, who I noticed just gave Jonesy a little bit of congratulations on the way through there, and of course we've got Andrew Dyson, the bearded miracle man, I guess we'll now call him. Carl, I'll let you take over.
Yeah, so getting you back up in the booth, Dyso. It's good to have you up here. A bit of a surprise to be up here after that restart. It looked like you weren't going to be up in the top three, and then all of a sudden the waters parted for you, and all of a sudden you found yourself in P3.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It's pretty funny, man. There was a couple half bus ups on the last lap, so I don't know. I just got lucky and took the right lines. Like, I'll be honest, I've got no idea what I'm doing around here and like where to go when it comes to like missing cars that are wrecking and stuff. So I just got super lucky, man. That's simple as that.
We watched that last restart on board with you as we were waiting for you guys to come up, and that was that's one for the highlight reel for sure, because that was a heck of a final couple of laps there, because you could just see cars sliding. I think it was Hamish Gallagher just getting a little bit sideways. All of a sudden you're just like, nope, I'm just going to go through here, I'm just going to keep going, and you just made it up to P3. Really good stuff, really good finish for you. Obviously got to ask you, qualifying, were you aiming to qualify better, or did you have a bit of an accident?
No, I went out on my first lap and slapped the fence. So after that, I thought I'll just cruise around and set a really slow lap, so it puts me out the back somewhere, and I can have a bit of practice, I suppose, just running around in some traffic and seeing what it's all about.
Obviously, a little bit of practice. We've seen a few drivers out tonight, but not always out in the Thunder Series. Getting a bit of practice for tomorrow night, maybe?
Yeah, that's it. Just learning the track, man. Simple as that.
Well, you've learnt it well, and you gave us a fantastic finish there, Mr. Andrew Dicey. Congratulations on the P3. So the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors.
Yeah. Thanks to Simmings.com. I'm still laughing about it, dude. Thanks to Simmings.com, Phoenix Smokers, Sazwell Lisbon Hoist, Alcohol, all those other logos you see on the car, and our great supporters. Thanks so much. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast as always. Thanks to ANZCAR. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, and since we're all here again, may as well say good day to Ryan's mum. Hope you're doing well.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you so much, guys.
Boys.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about the boys, Dicey?
Full credit to the boys too. We'll drop that in there to sneak in.
Yes, dude, what if it wasn't for us? You'd be in some deep. There'd be slabs going everywhere.
Oh, yeah, no, I owe everyone a bottle shop over the last few weeks. Not that I'm on the podium all the time. Gee, that sounds arrogant.
Oh, no, mate. We're used to you being up here. It's all good.
Yeah, it saved you from having to buy rounds for the boys there, so that's going to save your pocket a little bit. So next up, we will head to second place, man, Mr. Edward Foster with Natari on his book. Congratulations on that PT, mate.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That was really good fun.
That looked like an enjoyable race from your point of view. A lot of battling going on. A bit of leading as well, but a lot of battling as well between yourself, Micklemore, Gallagher, and of course, Ryan Jones.
Yeah, it was really, really cool, actually. This is the reason I love short tracks, because you've got guys, getting into each other, banging panels, slide jobs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was really, really good. Enjoyed it.
Well, we see you and Ryan tend to have an elastic band connected to both of your cars, and you tend to be on the same bit of track every time we see you. So how are you looking forward to that restart there? Yeah,
definitely. We've been around each other quite a lot now. I think Ryan has improved out of sight in, say, the last 6 months. He's always been quick, but his racecraft is so much better now, so he's actually really fun to race against, especially on a track like that where you need to have a lot of aggression and stuff, and we all know he's quite aggressive. So yeah, and I love that as well, especially on the short track, closing laps. That's why we come out and do these races. So yeah, it was really cool. Congratulations to him on the win. He obviously got it done, came out the same tyre strategy as me, passed Gallagher, helped me pass Gallagher a little bit, to be honest, and then it was just him versus me for the win, and he got it. So yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah, just what you were saying there. Ryan Jones aggressive, yourself aggressive. We've seen you come together a few times because neither of you like to really give up any room on the racetrack.
Oh, well, it depends when it is. I don't mind giving up the room early, but in the last 10 laps, man, it's go time. You got to go. So, yeah, that's life.
Thanks for the great finish there and the great racing there. Obviously, a good practice run for tomorrow night. Do you think you learned anything going into the Cup race, or do you think there's too much difference between the Xfinity car and the Cup car to really learn much from that sort of aspect?
No, they drove pretty much the same. But at the same time, I've done quite a bit around Bristol now. I'm fairly comfortable around there. So I don't think I'll learn anything extra tonight. Tonight was probably a little bit of a warm-up for tomorrow, yeah, but it was mainly about the fun of it. So, yeah.
Congratulations again, Ed. Before I let you go, the usual shout-out and love to all those people out there watching.
Yeah, definitely. So, Natari guys, first and foremost, full credit to my boys. Daniel and Josh obviously had their times when they were running up the front or close to the front. and neither one managed to bring home a decent result in the end. Things just didn't turn their way, but yeah, they definitely had decent speed tonight. So yeah, shouts out to those guys. Of course, sponsors AJ Insurance Services, Bridgestone Select, Race Magazine, Two Fat Blokes, and Ferguson Group Media as well. Awesome to have those guys on the car, and you guys as always for the broadcast and so on. And another congratulations to Ryan for the win, and Daiso for that incredibly improbable comeback drive from P nowhere to P3.
Exactly. I think everybody was asking you on the radio at the end of that race, where did you come from, Daiso? You went nowhere.
Yeah, we definitely were.
Congratulations again. Next up, we will head to the race winner, Mr. Ryan Jones, showing that commentators can, of course, win races and are great out on track once more.
Oh, I tell you what, I gave myself a bit of a cough, actually. I yelled yes a bit too loud when I crossed the line. That was such a anxious finish to the race. My heart was absolutely pounding with Edward behind me, because I knew Edward's a bloody tough guy to beat, and he always races so cleanly, except for that one time in today's race. Sorry, Ed.
Obviously, just before we go on, Ryan, obviously the reason you won that race is because you were weaving and warming up your tyres and proving that once and for all that weaving and warming up your tyres is the key for victory.
Yeah, mate. Obviously, ANZCAR's ruled it out for 1 lap to go. So, as Edward's probably noted, every time he's had to go and look back through restarts to see who's been weaving, I weave right up until 1 to go and then stop weaving, just to make sure I've got that extra little bit of warmth in my tyres. And we'll never definitively know whether it worked, but I guess tonight, if we were side by side through 1 and 2 on the restart, I came out ahead. So I guess that'll be my my proof.
Yeah, I think that's the key for the win tonight, is that tyre warm-up preparation you did. It was a fantastic job.
Yeah, man.
Look, it was a tough race for you. You were battling all through the pack all night. We saw your car looked a little bit second-hand at the end at the front, because you did get a few little bumps here and there, but nothing too bad to cause major damage and slow you down too much, obviously. How fun was it out there racing with all the guys so close?
Well, that damage is just Bristol, isn't it? We all had damage by the end, I think. It was really cool. Everyone was giving a lot of respect, and no one was really running anyone into the fence, which was awesome. The laps cars were being predictable and holding their lanes, which was what I really love about Bristol, is all the laps traffic. And tonight was a little teaser of what tomorrow's going to be like with 30 cars in the Cup Series. And I really hope we get long green flag runs in the Cup, because trying to pick your way through the lap traffic is 90% of the art of trying to win a race at Bristol.
So, look, you did a fantastic job of it tonight. You used traffic to your advantage. You used pace to your advantage, and you positioned the car in a perfect way, as well as getting that fantastic restart. And as always, a big shout out to your mum before we go on, of course. I hope she's doing well. And for yourself, the usual shout out and love to all your adoring fans.
Yeah. Shout out to Mum for paying me back for spending 6 hours in hospital with her yesterday by watching this race and cheering me on. Good luck, John. Gets me the win. Big shout out to Edward for racing me so hard and clean. He got to my quarter panel a couple times, but he never hit me. Never spun me around, and it was just good, hard, old school racing. And everyone else right through the pack as well. It was awesome stuff. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow I make the race, because I'm never locked in. And I can do it again.
Look, good luck tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see you out there for the chase. Thank you so much, Ryan Jones. Congratulations again on that win.
Cheers.
So, Stuart, we are finished for Bristol tonight, but we are back here tomorrow for the chase. We're doing it all over again with slightly different cars, a slightly different field, and it's going to be a slightly different race, of course, but all fun action hopefully to come.
If we have anything like the racing we had tonight, it's going to be an absolute blast, of course. That finish from Andrew Dyson, go back and watch that if you've just joined us. Sent from Heaven came back in and said effectively WTF, everything's changed, and the end of the race there, what a difference that made, that last caution to the finish. Great driving from everyone, as Jonesy touched on there as well. Really, really good racing from pretty much everyone tonight, as well as we normally come to expect from the series, and I can't wait for tomorrow night. It's going to be great.
Yeah, really looking forward to that one. As always, a big thank you to everybody that joined us tonight. Great to see some new faces in the chat. Thank you so much for that. Remember to hit the old subscribe and like buttons and things like that to catch up with more racing, because we do run 4 nights a week here for the three ANZCAR races, trucks, Thunder, and of course Cup, and we have the Ozpar series, some fantastic GT racing, which is going to be at Hockenheim next time out, next Tuesday for the final round of that series, an endurance round there. That's going to be fantastic to watch, but we will see you tomorrow night for the Cup action.
Absolutely. Thanks to everyone. And as always, Carl, thank you to you. That is it tonight on FGME Cast. An early finish for us tonight. There is some updates coming through on iRacing, which we're looking forward to talking about tomorrow night as well. So join us on FGME Cast tomorrow night from 7:45 for qualifying for the Cup, followed by some driver interviews and some bits and pieces before we head into the race back here at Bristol. And we look forward to seeing you all then. From us, have a good evening, and we'll catch you tomorrow night.